Peace, love, and prosperity. Your favorite independent podcaster here, Willmatic TV, reminding you that everybody can't go, but everybody is welcome. The E.B.C.G is a non-discriminatory platform. Everything discussed, disseminated, divulged, and dissected are for the sole purposes of entertainment. Enjoy the show.
Willmatic TV.
Turn me up though. Hold on. We got microphone check. Willmatic TV. I appreciate you for tuning in to me. Everybody Can't Go. Episode 53. You could have been anywhere else on the internet. On this ethernet. This mysterious place, man. This mysterious place. I'm not even gonna hold you. This gonna be an interesting episode just for the simple fact that, like, I'm not even gonna cap. I am like, bro, it's just kind of like I'm at a point now, you know, where it's just becoming more and more clear to me that, you know, how I want to spend my day, basically, right? Like, I have what I want to do. I have my shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got your priority list, right? Like, these are the things you got to make sure you check off by the end of the week. But then I also have other things. It is a calm and cool 50 degrees in the East Coast right now, New York City, to be more specific. I'm not even going to hold you. This weather is absolutely insane. It literally... Like, I had to understand that I literally had to take my jacket off today outside. You feel me? We are literally in the middle. This is literally the heart of the winter. January 25th. I don't know, man. We got a little snow and all that, but it's kind of just like, fam, that shit don't even stick to the ground for more than 3 days. You feel me? We are clearly in some unprecedented times as far as the weather is concerned, right? And, you know, that's concerning to me just for the simple fact that, you know, based on shit I've read in the past, listen, man, we global warming might not be, you know, we might not be taking it as serious as we should be. You know, I'm going to enjoy that 50-degree day, though. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I appreciated it. I'm not complaining, but what I'm saying is this, you know, we probably should be making sure that we're not littering, you know, using our nearest trash receptacles. Please be mindful of the environment. It's really the spring is like in 3 weeks for real, because February, you know, you snap your fingers and February is over. As we move closer and closer to this new world order, this technology driven chat GPT, robotic. It's just a lot of, I don't know, man. I just feel like, once again, similar to, you know, global warming. This technologically sound, you know, generation, or this overly exaggerated. I don't know. At what point do we draw the line when it comes to human responsibility versus, you know, AIs, and, you know, basically how we can, you don't even have to type anymore, fam. Like, literally now there's features that you can literally use AI technology to basically send an email for you, right? It's just becoming more and more, you know, or our responsibilities as humans are becoming less and less. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, me personally, I do feel like technology, obviously, you know, I'm recording a podcast right now, you know, this microphone, this laptop, you know, my phone. Obviously, needless to say, technology can be utilized, you know, for the greater good. But what I'm simply saying is, you know, I just don't like the direction we going in right now, man. Computer love. It's too much computer love going on right now. It's just a little too much, and I'm just not comfortable. I do feel like we need to kind of, you know, maybe take a step back. And realistically, let me speak for myself here, right? Because it's only so much we can do, right? We must save ourselves before we can save the world, right? That's what they said in Notorious. Who quoted it? Was that Diddy in the movie that said that? My point is this, fam. As far as me personally, I do feel like I said once again, we are developing atrophy as humans. When you take the responsibilities away from humans and, basically our everyday life, how is that going to reflect on the future society, the way we act, the way we interact, right? I mean, I see it every day, I personally don't even really feel like, I'm not even sure why people use the internet for personal reasons. I feel like if you don't have a business, like for me, and once again, I might be just speaking for myself, but I don't have any business on here if I don't have a business on here. I definitely just dropped some new content. Speaking of technology, this is probably the best time for me to go ahead and just promote, just a little project, NBA 2K24, definitely. I don't want to say I'm a huge fan, but I'm definitely a fan and I'm a supporter. Listen, the amount of VC I done copped over the years, I done spent a couple thousand at this point, fam. We going back to 2K12, the 2K tape 2.4. It's just a little series that I basically created, It's really just, if I'm being honest, what it really is, it's kind of like a it's a tool. It's a tool, and it's definitely something that I like to do. It definitely helps me with editing ideas. I really just love sitting and creating projects. Whether it's 2K, whether it's a podcast, whatever it is, just me sitting and taking something and kind of just seeing it in its final form. There's nothing greater than basically just having a vision and kind of seeing that come to fruition, right? So I'm kind of just, dibbling and dabbling with that. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a YouTuber. I'm definitely not no gamer, right? Let me not even paint it like I'm one of the top streamers out here. I'm not Kai Cenat on the sticks, fam. I'm not DDG. Shout out to them, by the way. They out here killing shit, Ear horn for them, just cause. Shout out to all the streamers, all the YouTubers, everybody basically taking this, kind of what they gave us, right? And, basically making the best out of it. Like I said, once again, computer love, it's a gift and a curse. This technology that we use, I feel like we're at a point now where it's kind of just like, it's the norm now, right? We get our news off of this stuff. We get our, our food off of this. We shop on this. Our lives are basically, it's all kind of embedded with the technology, right? And I'm just at a point now where I don't know, man. I'm just paying attention, man. That's all. I'm just paying attention. And I just want everybody within the sound of my voice to just be mindful, right? We might have to get back outside a little bit more, fam. You don't even really see. I don't remember the last time I seen just like a group of, kids playing tag, and like that tag might be like low key. That shit, these kids don't even know what that is, fam. When you say tag, they thinking about hashtag, like literally, like they thinking about the computer. You feel me? Computer love, man. Episode 53. Everybody can't go. Willmatic TV. I'm not even gonna hold you. The kid is gassed right now. Yeah, nah, I'm definitely, definitely gassed right now. Just came back in from the gig. The 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is how you. I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to live it and living a lot. Whoa. Yeah, nah, definitely on the verge of quitting another gig. This is probably gonna be. I'm not gonna hold you. I quit like my last 3 jobs in a row, fam. Literally just was like, I'm not going back. You feel me? And I'm just at a point now where obviously, I know what I want to do now, basically, right? So now it's just a matter of, just taking the right steps and kind of like not cheating the process too. That's important, right? Because obviously there's shortcuts. It's shortcuts. There's a lot of shortcuts. There's a lot of different ways and a lot of different directions you can go in on your pursuit of whatever it is that you're in pursuit of. But what I'm saying is this: Mamba mentality. It's Mamba year. It's actually we're coming up on the fourth year anniversary. Yeah, so January 26th, it is currently January 25th at the time of recording this episode. So tomorrow, January 26th, I'm sorry, man. I dread the day, right? Let me just say that before I say anything else. January 26th is it's just a day on the calendar now that, it's just that reminder, man. Just that reminder that, this tragedy occurred, and it's 4 years to the day. Obviously, we want to, acknowledge, salute, and forever, pay homage to the late, great, Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, Christina Mauser, Payton Chester, and Marissa, Keri, and John Altobelli. And if I didn't say any of those names correctly, I do sincerely apologize. I'm pretty sure I said all those names correctly, just for the simple fact, just the amount of hours I spent, pardon me, hold on. The amount of hours spent, kind of just looking at different things when this took place 4 years ago. Obviously we're at a point now where we want to just kind of, continue the legacy in some way, shape, or form, right? So obviously when it comes to just, Mamba mentality is something that can be applied in every field. And that's why it was such a dope slogan, right? Other than the fact that you couldn't find, an individual who was going to embody, and kind of basically, how can I say this, represent, be the representation for a slogan such as Mamba mentality, then Kobe. I mean, listen, man, it's all there. The highlight reel is there. I don't have to say much because the man, his actions spoke volumes. And obviously, like I said, we want to just acknowledge, the work and, everything, the legacy that was kind of carved out, this being Mamba year, even before this tragedy occurred, right? Let's be clear, fam. Anybody that took it up, this man made it his duty. He made it his duty, fam, to make sure that every goddamn time I stepped on the court, every time I don't know, man, every time I was seen on camera, every time I was asked to, speak at any, TED Talk or, give a lecture, I'm going to make it my duty and my obligation to say something that is going to trigger the inspiration inside of you that you probably didn't know existed, fam. I'm going to be so great that you have no choice but to follow in my footsteps and try to be just as great, if not greater. Yeah. I didn't even realize J. Cole's birthday was 2 days. So I'm pretty sure that was probably like his worst birthday ever, fam. You know what I'm saying? 2 days later, January 28th. We want to also acknowledge that, one of the greatest rappers of all time, you know what I'm saying, Jermaine Cole. Obviously, still anticipating, the release of The Fall Off, which is, the album that, at this point, he been screaming The Fall Off for about 3 years now. He done had a lot of features, amazing feature run year. It was absolutely incredible, but I ain't gonna hold you, Cole. We looking for that album right about now. But I feel like I'm jumping ahead of myself. I said we was gonna get to new music later on in the episode, so let me slow myself down And let me reel back. I got Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan at the top of the docket because Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. Ryan Coogler is, obviously a director, film director, renowned, profound, one of the best out right now as far as in the film space. One of the best directors that we have. Obviously, Michael B. Jordan, one of the best actors out. How do you even really how do you determine best in that field, right? Because as I just said it, in my head, I heard myself saying it, and it didn't really sound right to me. Is Michael Jordan, how do you call yourself the best in the field of acting, right? What boxes do they have to check off? I feel like with, basketball, we kind of know, all right, fam, if you're not hitting your jump shots, if you shooting a certain percentage, there's so many different ways you can gauge that. How do you gauge who is the best in your field in the world of acting? Realistically, I'm not necessarily I'm not when it comes to films, yeah, I know a couple classics here and there, right? I know Fruitville Station and shit. Yeah, I definitely saw that. Amazing film, by the way. Rest in peace to, Oscar Grant. That was a film that was written and directed by Ryan Coogler, who we're speaking of now. So let's fast forward here, right? Obviously, the relationship has, kind of been going on. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he put Michael B. Jordan in his first film, which was Fruitville Station, right? That wasn't his first time on screen. He did other things. I know he was on The Wire, and things like that, commercials and shit. But I mean, it's safe to say that Ryan Coogler is probably responsible for the launch of the career of Michael B. Jordan, right? So I say all that to say this. It has been announced, as of January 19th, that Michael B. Jordan, alongside Ryan Coogler and his media company, Proximity Media, will be producing and releasing its first original film under the company. So I do feel like that is a, significant news, just for the simple fact that the first thing that came to my mind, right? And let me air horn them up and all that. Air horn was kind of late. I'm not even gonna hold you. I tapped the button 3 times, fam. I'm not sure why it took that long. Kind of threw me off a little bit. Hold on, let me get back on track now. What was I saying? See, look, hold on. Where was I just now, fam? Right. I do feel like this is significant because the first thing that popped into my mind when I seen and I heard this was, Jonathan Majors, if I'm just being honest, right? I said, oh, okay. Well, shit, this is great news for him. And I'm pretty sure that Jonathan Majors, if I feel like this is significant news, I'm pretty sure that Jonathan Majors is probably watching and keeping a close eye on what Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan got cooking up over there right now, if he not already over there with them, right? Because we know that Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, from what we've seen in the past, right? Because it's not like I haven't really seen Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors recently. I'm not gonna hold you. We don't really see them kind of, they kind of had their little buddy situation where, and I'm not trying to pause if applicable, but what I'm saying is this, right? Obviously, they have a strong brotherhood and a friendship, right? These are 2 black men in Hollywood, very successful, doing movies, starring and co-starring in films together. So obviously, one would assume that you develop a kinship with one another, right? There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm simply saying is this. Obviously, Jonathan Majors recently got into a situation where it left him, let's just say without work, right? For the, foreseeable future. And, I'm not really sure. Has anything changed since the last time I spoke about that? No, not really. They just had all of the, everybody kind of pretty much just clowned him for calling Megan Good his Coretta, and just a bunch of memes and things like this, right? But as far as his actual status in Hollywood as an actor looking for work, I don't believe anything has changed. He might have went to one of those parties or something. I don't know, fam. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the cat been out the bag. You understand? When it come to Hollywood, and just basically how they conduct business sometimes, right? And all I'm saying is this, fam. I don't think Jonathan Majors, he doesn't strike me as the type that would be opposed to having a party, especially if he trying to get back in the Black Panther, fam. He want to be in the Marvel Universe, my nigga. Based on what I seen in that interview, I digress. Hopefully everything is fine, is what I'm basically trying to say, right? But I do feel like now that, this announcement came out, is it safe to assume? Let me just ask the goddamn question, fam. Did Jonathan Majors get that call? Did he get the call, fam? That's all I want to know. If Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors are working on a film under, Ryan Coogler's media company, right? And I just asked this question on a previous episode when I spoke about this, the whole Jonathan Majors fallout. And my question was, where is Tyler Perry? Maybe I'm aiming at the wrong basket here, right? And when we are looking to, basically our peers in Hollywood and basically our OGs and the people who can basically kind of, we are looking for those individuals within Hollywood or within the entertainment space who can kind of operate independently, and kind of do their own thing and kind of, call out their own plays. I thought personally that Tyler Perry was that guy, right? Based on everything I've heard and, obviously the studio being, probably, is it the biggest studio? I know he got a big studio where he makes movies, right? So I'm thinking to myself, well, damn, can't he he should be able to. So, I do feel like this is good news for Jonathan Majors and Jonathan Majors only, fam. And obviously for the fans and, people who actually are into, like I said, Fruitville Station for me was, I did enjoy that, I just feel like they did a really good job, kind of capturing and telling that story. But personally, I don't really know. Outside of Fruitville Station, I can't really say that, I'm necessarily a fan of Ryan Coogler and his work. And that's another reason why I asked that question about basically how do you determine the best in the field, especially today and especially with the way, I just feel like movies are so much more accessible now, right? It's basically like overkill, right? You can literally pick your phone up, go on Netflix, and watch 50 movies back to back to back. Like, there is no real way to kind of check off those boxes, right? You kind of have to be in the right place at the right time. And, Ryan Coogler to me kind of seems like, I feel like he is that individual in Hollywood, right? Where he kind of was just in the right place at the right time with the right script. And he's kind of just keeping the momentum going. And he's doing a pretty good job, obviously. I ain't necessarily, the Creed thing, that's not really my bag. I ain't really watched. It's a lot of old vintage. Like, it's a lot of classics that I haven't seen, right? I'm the guy that still hasn't seen Scarface, The Godfather, Goodfellas, and all that shit. Like, I missed out on a whole segment of Hollywood, is what I'm saying, right? So I'm not really an easy sell when it comes to, I'm not really the guy that you kind of, you're not going to get me to the theater for any of this stuff, right? Them days is over with, fam. I don't even know what the inside of the movie theater looks like anymore, fam. No, that's not true, though. I've had deliveries that I've had to do there, not too long ago, during like the height of COVID and shit, when there was nobody in there. It was like 3 people in an entire movie theater. It was the most bizarre shit ever, fam. And in that moment, I said to myself, you know what, fam? You probably just better off at home watching Netflix. Like, you don't really need to be here, fam. Popcorn is $15. Like, bro, like, what are we doing, fam? I might as well be on Uber Eats in the confines Yeah, I don't really have anything else on that. I just seen that. I wrote it on the docket. I said, you know what, man? Salute. These are also, obviously, anytime you see two, people of color in Hollywood doing anything at this point, I'm gonna highlight and salute it because obviously, too often we are getting the shorter end of the stick, right? So salute to them. I definitely will be keeping an eye on that to see kind of how that plays out. I do feel like we will see Jonathan Majors in the near far future though. And depending on what type of film this is going to be, when I hear original film, that gets me excited personally, right? I'm here for the original film, the originality. Let me see where your pen is at, fam. Let me see what you could cook up off the dome, like without Hollywood, basically, right? Operating independently within the space, right? And that's kind of just what I'm on right now, yeah, man, you kind of gotta use these motherfuckers to kind of get what you need out of the situation, man. That's something that I'm kind of like on a small scale. I'm kind of, I'm learning that in real time right now. Like I just said, I just came back in from the gig. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just a lot easier now to kind of just see what's what, once you start really understanding and honing in on, what you actually want to do. And I mean, I really want to say it's an amazing feeling, It's just a matter of now basically not getting caught with a RICO at this point. You know what I'm saying? If I can avoid the RICOs, if they hit me with a RICO, they gonna try to think of something, fam. And I don't want to make light of that because obviously, listen, fam. You can have the best intentions in the world is basically what I'm trying to say, but that doesn't necessarily mean, listen, you make plans and God laughs, right? I'm aware of this. So I don't want to, I don't want to speak so matter of fact. All I'm saying is that I know exactly what I want to do at this point. And y'all motherfuckers might have me for one more year, fam. After 2024, after Mamba year, I'm just saying this really might just be the year. This might really just be the year. Let's make history in 2024. And I'm wishing that for everybody, who's basically in the process of growing and building a brand, or not just a brand, growing and building as an individual in life in general. Anybody, I'm a supporter of growth, yeah, anybody in the process, in the growing process, in the growing phase, whatever that is, I do feel like, what I'm saying, if you're getting up every day, if you have good intentions, if you're staying focused on your focus and you're not focused on somebody else's focus, because once again, computer love, we got to get back to that computer love talk, man. Unfortunately, what the computer allows to happen is it allows for people, it just basically gives people access to you now. At this point, I'm not even, there is no hesitation involved when it comes to basically doing what I know I have to do for myself, Kendrick got a song, it's a song on the Mr. Morale album called what's the name of that shit, man? I don't even remember. Not I Choose Me, I'm Sorry. That's the hook. But the name of the song is fuck. I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank. Mirror. It's actually the last track on the album. And I do feel like, yeah, man, the lyrics in that track are so important to me, man. I hone in on them just for the simple fact that I do feel like we are currently in a time right now where a lot of people are having a hard time looking into the mirror, right? A lot of y'all motherfuckers don't want to. Y'all look at everything else. Motherfuckers are duck under that shit to avoid. Like, I just feel like we do need to look into the mirror at this point. Myself included. I mean, listen, man. I don't skip mirror day, fam. Like, you know how you got leg day at the gym? It's mirror day every day over here for Willmatic TV, right? I don't personally. I be writing little messages in that shit. You know what I'm saying? When you take a shower and the shit get fogged up, I like to write little messages on the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm going to see it because I stay looking in the mirror, right? So sometimes I put a little message on there for myself. you know what I'm saying, just a little mantra, just a little something, a reminder, whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? But I just feel like more people, yeah, we need to go inwards more. We doing a lot of, it's a lot of outwardly outrageous views. Like, let's go inward more, right? And that was a rant and a soliloquy. I completely lost my point. I don't know where I am at this point. I'm going to look down at my docket. Hold on. Yeah. You can't avoid the mirror. You can't avoid reality. You can't avoid Willmatic TV. Michael Jackson, first images released, of a biopic. That I was not aware of at all. Apparently Michael Jackson's estate have, come together to put together a film, a biopic to obviously honor, Michael Jackson. I'm not 100% sure, like, what, I would imagine that it's going to be a story about basically the life of Michael Jackson, right? His life, his early years as a young, basically entertainer. Because obviously Michael Jackson. Why am I saying it that way? I know I'm tired and shit, but it's just like, fam, let me untie my goddamn tongue for y'all. Pause. Right? That was crazy. Pause. But Michael Jackson, I feel like I'm saying it with like a CH. There's no CH in there, fam. We talk about Michael Jackson in this biopic. They released the first images on January 19th. A lot was going on January 19th, fam. January 19th. Is that not also the day that the whole fucking what do you even call that? The brawl at the lawn and shit when they rushed the goddamn White House? Is that the same day? Was that January 19th? I feel like it was. And I feel like your man, they taking this nigga off the ballot in every state and shit. Like, he going through that. That's a real current event situation right now. We might need to get to that too. Cause I don't really have no politics written down on my docket this week. I said to myself, man, listen, man, I see what the fuck is going on. Yeah, obviously we all see it at this point. I just feel like it's just certain shit that it's just kind of like, I like to challenge myself. And I'm digressing completely from the Michael Jackson biopic. Really and truthfully, I only threw it on the docket because I seen it and I thought it was interesting. But then I also thought, damn, the release date is set for April 18th, 2025. So realistically, I said, you know what, man? Let me go ahead and just get this on record because realistically, Willmatic TV, it's too much going on. If y'all think that I'm going to keep this shit in the back of my head for a whole goddamn year and some change, fam, I'm going to forget about this, is what I'm saying, right? So I said, you know what? I seen it. Let me write it down because this is probably going to be, as far as, biopics, this might be, one of the best ones, low key, right? If they're able to kind of do what I feel like they need to do with this, because obviously the Michael Jackson story, right? And this is when my creativity, this is when I get into my creative bag. Because y'all know I'm a creator. I'm a visionary. I like to, I like to edit, but I really do feel like I have, I do feel like I will put a film together at some point. I'm putting one together in my head every goddamn day. This clown show shit I'm seeing out here. Huh? Just the most bizarre, backwards shit, fam. I have several different scripts that I'm kind of like cooking up quietly in my head right now. I need y'all to know this about me. Right? Because it's just so much going on. So much things happening. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on, man. Listen, man. Cat Williams said, they be in the rooms in the mansion. Listen, fam, it don't necessarily got to be a mansion, fam. It don't got to just be a mansion. It could just be anywhere at this point. And all I'm saying is this. I digress. But I'm cooking something up, though. You know what I'm saying? Just stay tuned. Keep it locked. You know what I'm saying? E.B.C.G Studios. You never know what I got cooking up. That 2K tape is out now, by the way. Volume 2.4. Which is definitely a tribute and, to Kobe Bryant. I feel like I said once again, January 26th, 4-year anniversary. So Michael Jackson, the biopic. I don't really have much else to say about it other than the fact that I guess I'm looking forward to this. I do feel like I said, if handled correctly, and I mean, I would imagine that finding a leading role, Michael Jackson, there's so many goddamn Michael Jackson imitators out here, fam. I'm pretty sure they're going to find somebody who's going to play the role and kind of body it and do what they got to do. You got so many people. They could probably go find that on the train somewhere in New York City, fam. The amount of Michael Jackson performances I've seen. You throw a curly wig on one of these, I'm just saying, man, if the script is right, this can potentially be a box office record-breaking situation. I don't think Jonathan Majors is going to be in that biopic, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, like I said, Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan might need to hurry up with that script, fam. I'm looking forward to that as well. Original film. Yeah, I'm curious to see what that would be conceptually. Let's get to some music talk now. Let's get to some music talk because I ain't gonna hold you, fam. It's a lot of music, Like I said, I feel like 2024 is definitely shaping up to be, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting musically, when it comes to boxing, when it comes to MMA. It's a lot of potential matchups and a lot of different scenarios that we can possibly be seeing this year. I just heard, or I just seen, and I just heard, Alyssa Baumgartner, a female women's boxer in the, I don't know if it's the strawweight division. I just know that Clarissa Shields, is the GOAT of women's boxing, right? Let's be clear about that. Clarissa Shields, who actually interacted with me and sent me a whole voice note. I still have it to this day, fam. The GOAT hit me up to kind of vent and let me know what she had going on. Nah, realistically what it was she posted something and I replied to it. And I don't really want to even really, because I feel like basically what it was she, posted something, I don't want to say religious, but it was, she was kind of at a church, kind of showing, the pastor giving a sermon. And I noticed that they muted it on the IG, right? Her IG story, they muted, what the pastor was saying. And I just felt like that was kind of crazy. And then when I brought that to her attention, she hit me back with she was basically devastated. Like, she couldn't even believe it. And she thanked me for bringing it to her attention just for the simple fact that she wanted to kind of do an IG video and speak on that. And basically, what the fuck? Like, how is that even possible? Y'all muting the word of God. And that's basically what she was saying, right? But there's no muting when it comes to all this shooting and prostituting that they doing in these lyrics and shit, right? Obviously, it's so much of that stuff, the internet, the computer, right? Computer love and computer hate. It's love and hate. It's the yin and the yang on this thing. So you got to kind of, cycle through this shit. I digress. I say all that to get to this point right here, fam. Clarissa Shields, who has completely been dominant in women's boxing. Alyssa Baumgartner, from what I understand, is potentially the next, her next opponent. I know she has a fight coming up. I just seen it, she posted it on her IG. She definitely has a fight coming up. And that's not Alyssa Baumgartner. But what I'm saying is this, fam. That's a tune-up. That's the tune-up. Obviously, that's the tune-up fight, right? She got to get back in there. She got to mix it up a little bit. I also want to point out the fact that Clarissa Shields doesn't only do boxing. She does MMA as well, which even further solidifies the fact that she is the GOAT of women's boxing. We haven't really quite seen anything like Clarissa Shields. Understand that even men, there's not a man fighter that has done really what she's done. I mean, it's actually remarkable. It's incredible. Alyssa Baumgartner, on the other hand, is, I feel like, Basically more of a, I don't want to say up and coming fighter because that would be, I would be speaking out of turn, right? I'm pretty sure she's been at this for a very long time, although I'm not 100% aware of how many years she's been fighting. We all know Clarissa Shields' resume is what I'm saying. Alicia Baumgartner, I feel like her name and her likeness and her image kind of just got started, not, recently, basically, right? She had a couple of big fights. And up until this point, from what I understood, Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgartner were actually pretty tight. I was like, they was homegirls, right? They both in the fight game. They're both black women. I do believe they're both from the same city, Detroit. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of history there. I'm not sure what changed, but all I know is this, fam. And let me just get to the goddamn point here. If Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgartner step into that goddamn squared circle, fam, we are getting ready to see box office. And I won't say anything further than that. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to say anything else about it, period. Because I don't really want to jinx it, is what I'm saying. We already know, we've been in this position, and we've seen this happen too many times in the world of fighting in sports, right? Where it's kind of like you get excited over this potential matchup happening, and then it's kind of like maybe it was too good to be true. You don't really get to see it. It does appear to me that they want to fight each other, and there's some type of animosity now, right? So something happened, something changed. I don't really know what happened or why it happened, but what I will say is this, fam. I am 100% here for the Clarissa Shields versus Alicia Baumgartner fight, if they make that happen. And if they do, hopefully that would be, sometime this summer. That would be my, best case scenario. But if not this year, maybe possibly they might be setting this thing up for next year. So I'm not really sure. Like I said, once again, we have a lot of potential matchups in fighting. We have a lot of music to look forward to. And one of those artists and one of those albums that is gearing up to drop March 15th, we got Tierra Whack. Let's go. Come on. Drop the bomb. Tierra Whack announces the debut album release date, March 15th. Worldwide Whack will drop. I'm super excited and really happy for Tierra Whack. Tierra Whack. We were just speaking about Clarissa Shields. Women's boxing. I feel like similar to women in boxing, Tierra Whack is a very, very skilled MC in a male-dominated sport known as rap and hip-hop, right? What I will say is I do feel like she has done a remarkable job of kind of like branding herself and, basically kind of creating her image and creating her likeness, right? To where it's basically like you can't put Tierra Whack in any particular box. You really can't. Tierra Whack is truly an artist. Super talented in my opinion. One of the dopest lyricists and MCs in the goddamn game right now, male or female, right? And it's just interesting to me. And she's just such a dope artist to me, man. And I do feel like she's supremely talented and really is an MC. And I think a lot of people forget that about Tierra Whack. Like I said, she's done such a good job of branding herself outside of the music, outside of just basically being able to rap for you, freestyle, spit these bars, right? She branched out. But at the same time, a nigga like me is not going to forget the fact that you a real MC, right? And once I see you got that in you, all it takes is one goddamn time, right? If you got that eye, if you from that cloth, if you know, you know. And I know that Tierra Whack is a monster on the microphone, right? And when she ready to drop a 16, she's very, very much capable of doing that. I say all that to say this album, I've been waiting for this album, basically, right? But at the same time, I do feel like the fact that this is her debut album, there's a good chance. I'm just curious to see how she's going to approach this. Now, this is that moment now. This is a defining moment in her career for me, personally, right? Because realistically, fam, like hit or miss, what really determines all of this, huh? The numbers, the sales, the first week sales. I'm sure she wants to do 1 million in the first week. But for me, as a fan, as a listener, none of that stuff matters, you know. I'm kind of looking at, you know, this thing from a more, I don't know, creative standpoint and conceptually. Like what are you about to present to me? What body, how is this body of work going to be put together? I'm just looking forward to the album, man. Like I said, I feel like she's very talented. This album has been, you know, a long time coming, you know, basically, right? It's one of those things where it was kind of like, damn, she kind of got quiet musically, in my opinion, right? If anybody, you know, I follow her on Instagram, you know, she had this, you know, thing she was doing at a certain point where she was basically dropping the freestyles over the different instrumentals. And I'm not even gonna hold you, fam. She was putting a lot of rappers to shame over their instrumentals, fam. Tierra Whack, like I said, once again, you do your own due diligence when you got the time and do your Googles, fam. TIERRAWHACK, fam. On IG, fam. The freestyles are still there. And you will clearly see. I don't really think this is gonna be one of those, like a rap album though. And I won't be mad at her. I say all that to say this. I don't really think she's gonna be able to miss, for me personally, on this, right? I just don't see how she's gonna miss. Like how you, this is the debut of Tierra Whack. So listen, man, March 15th. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We looking forward to that. Definitely, you know. I still didn't get to the Kid Cudi album, Insano. Yeah, I just really. So basically, really what happened was I pressed play, right? I'm always going to press play when I'm like curious enough to hear an artist. And I do feel like Kid Cudi is another one of those artists who, you know, kind of has his own niche and his own kind of lane that he kind of plays in, or whatever the case may be. And some of that stuff is going to resonate with me. But if I'm just being honest, over the years, I can't necessarily say I've been the biggest Kid Cudi fan. There's a lot of songs that Kid Cudi has done that I do enjoy. Or I cried to Kid Cudi at some point. That's a whole fact. We was in front of people, all that, fam. We was having a whole cypher, me and the homies and shit, you know what I'm saying? And literally, I'm not really sure why I started, but like, I say all that to say this, fam. Kid Cudi's music does resonate with me at times, right? And I can't say that he's not talented, but what I can say is this Insano album that he just dropped, I don't know if that's going, you know, that might not make the playlist, man. Everybody can't go, every album can't go. I'm so sorry. I pressed play, I heard like 2 or 3 tracks, and realistically, I gotta revisit it, man. My mind might have just been clogged and cluttered. I got so many shit going, you know what I mean? Podcasts, I'm editing. I dropped a 2K tape. So it's always something going on in the mind of Willmatic TV, right? And maybe I just wasn't in the right place mentally to really, you know what I'm saying, sit with Insano and kind of appreciate it. Like I said, he did a really good job of selling the album. You got Benny the Butcher, you know, gearing up to drop. Actually, yeah, tomorrow, this Friday, January 26th, Everybody Can't Go. This might be the best. This might be the album of the year, fam. The Everybody Can't Go album? Come on, man. I damn near want to say I might have inspired this. I didn't really hear nobody using the Everybody Can't Go thing to the E.B.C.G. All I'm saying is this, fam. I'm definitely going to tune into that right there. Everybody Can't Go is literally, if you name your album Everybody Can't Go, best believe that Willmatic TV will be giving it a listen. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably going to have to run that up. I might have to like, you know what I'm saying, leave my phone on or something. I might have to low-key create a little streaming farm or something. I want this shit to go diamond right here, fam. The track list, you know, came out. And I definitely seen the track list for the album. And what I will say is this. He kept it real, you know. He kept it real Benny. Based on what I've seen on that track list, I do feel like this is going to be a good album, man. I damn near want to say it might be a classic. Just for the simple fact, for me, the title, number one, right? I'm definitely going to have this, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be running this up pretty much. All you got to do, you already delivered with the title. All I need you to do now is just deliver on the music side of things, and we got ourselves a classic here, man. 12 tracks. You got Jadakiss on there. You got the Alchemist on there producing. You know what I'm saying? You got Stove God Cooks. If I'm not mistaken, is Stove God on there? You got Griselda on there. By the way, this is the E.B.C.G podcast. The E.B.C.G is an acronym. I think I've already explained this in the past, but I don't mind explaining myself again for the new viewers and the new listeners. The E.B.C.G, it's not just some cool letters that I put together to... Nah, fam, there's a meaning. It's an acronym, and that acronym is Everybody Can't Go. So naturally, when I originally heard that Benny the Butcher was getting ready to release this album with this title, yeah, I know I was looking forward to this one, right? But at the same time, I do feel like, as far as like, a body of work and just, kind of, I kind of have a hard time. Like I said, I got my go-tos, and it's kind of hard to, I'm low-key spoiled, basically. I'm a spoiled music brat, fam. I'm a music snob, low-key. Like, when I want to get into my music snob bag, I kind of could tap into that bag a little bit, right? And low-key, I do be feeling like it's just certain shit I don't really, it might not just be for my ear, right? And I kind of struggle to, man, I say all that to say this, fam. I listened to this Benny the Butcher album. This Everybody Can't Go album. This album is a masterpiece. There's no escaping this. There's no escaping this. There is no escaping this. And honestly, I am not sure who is getting ready to drop their album after this. But what I will say is this, fam. Benny set the goddamn tone for 2024, fam. And if we didn't get that, that hip hop album, last year, we kind of was looking around and we was kind of confused last year. Us hip hop heads and all that. We was looking around, we was scratching our goddamn head like, fam, this the 50th year? How is it that this is the 50th year of this genre, that we call hip hop, but we looking around and we don't really see, our go-to, our, hip hop artists basically putting out music and dropping hip hop albums, right? We had Drake drop a couple of albums and a mixtape, and we appreciated that. But at that point, we was already starving for something, right? So it was kind of like, you made us wait till November for this, right? And then you gave us what you gave us, and it was cool, But what I'm saying is this, fam, this Benny album, this ain't for all the dogs, fam. There's a track on there called Big Dog, featuring Lil Wayne. Absolutely snapped. I already heard that one, obviously. That was the single. So that kind of was, already in rotation for a little bit. But I mean, listen, man. I only listened to the joint one time. I'm not going to sit here and cap, right? But usually the first listen is not supposed to be the most enjoyable listen, right? Necessarily, right? You kind of just, you get a little taste of what's going on, pause, right? But that's the first listen is like a sample, fam. Like, let me see what's going on. You kind of need some time to let the bars digest, fam. Off of the first listen, this is sounding like a goddamn classic, fam. You gave me 12 tracks of The Alchemist production. You got Hit Boy production on this album. I feel like on certain tracks, they might be on the same track doing production together, fam. They going back and forth with great 808s, drum. I mean, the production is absolutely amazing. It's incredible. I got a few joints over there. Definitely got, How to Rap. Amazing. 1 Foot In. Featuring Stove God Cooks. They absolutely killed that track. I'm enjoying it's a real kind of, basically it's that vintage feel, man. It's that vintage hip hop quintessential, backpack. Not necessarily backpack though. I don't really necessarily feel like Benny's on no backpack. Yeah, I kind of know that with the content. I mean, as far as conceptually, like I said, I'm not necessarily the biggest Benny the Butcher fan. I'm familiar with some of his songs, but like I said, as far as the whole body of work, this is actually the first time that I've actually listened to a full Benny project. So I'm probably not the best gauge to basically speak on if this is his best concept album. But what I will say is this. I don't feel like we had another Benny album where he's rapping like this, man. I just don't. I don't think that was that Burden of Proof joint was cool. And I felt like it was some joints on there, whatever the case may be. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, man. This is definitely Benny the Butcher's best album to date, right? It just has to be. I mean, when we look at the production that's on there, and yeah, I know he was already kind of on that as far as production, right? The self-titled track, listen, man. I'm thinking about new intros and listen, man. Everybody Can't Go. Benny the Butcher featuring Kyle Banks is an absolutely... I damn near want to play it right now, but I don't want to get flagged and all that. Y'all know I'm on Spotify. I'm everywhere. The E.B.C.G. Everybody Can't Go. Benny the Butcher. Everybody Can't Go. Amazing project. Braun. I got Braun. Yeah, Braun. Braun was hard. You know what I'm saying? Track on it titled Braun. I feel like that shit was out of here. Back Again featuring Snoop Dogg. Fam. We got Snoop Dogg rapping in 2024, fam. I mean, and it's sounding like vintage Snoop. Like, it's an amazing project, man. Like I said, I only gave it one listen. So, over time, that's only, I'm going to only enjoy the album even more and more over time. I feel like it is going to grow. And I do feel like a lot of rappers are on the clock right now. I will say that, fam. I don't know, man. J. Cole. Listen, man, this low key might be... I don't know, Benny might have did something slick right here with this one right here. I feel like he knew, he was aware of the fact the fall off is getting ready to drop any day now. And y'all know I got a theory. Benny came and set the tone, fam. He put pressure. He applied pressure. That's one of J. Cole tracks. Applied pressure off the off season. I feel like Benny applied a little pressure on J. Cole, and low key, I feel like this might be a little bit of payback, fam. We already remember. Listen, J. Cole. Y'all know J. Cole and his feature, you know what I'm saying? His feature runs are legendary. And obviously, I'm not sure. Was that last year? I feel like that was 2022. He definitely, got on the track with Benny. And, obviously, listen, man. Y'all know what Cole do when he get on the track with these guys, man. He absolutely had a field day. I feel like a lot of people was basically saying, like, he kind of got at Benny on there. And low-key, it might have been a couple of bars on there, and he was aiming at Benny, fam. Like, he did a Kendrick low-key. He kind of did a Control a little bit quietly, right? He was taking shots at Benny on Benny's album, fam. That might have been, I feel like that was like the first track on the album, too. It was kind of crazy, low-key. All I'm saying is this. I feel like Benny wanted to make sure that Cole had a tough follow act. He wanted Cole to sweat a little bit, fam. I don't think Cole is sweating right now, but I feel like that was the intent, low-key. You feel me? Nothing gets past Willmatic TV. E.B.C.G podcast. Everybody Can't Go. Episode 53. Computer Love. You already know what it is. I might change the title of the episode, though, now that I'm thinking about it. This might have to be like the self-titled track on Benny's album. This might have to be my first self-titled podcast episode, fam. This might be episode 53. Everybody Can't Go. Is sounding right about now, fam. Then I also do feel like that's kind of corny, considering the fact that that's the name of the podcast. So it's kind of going to be like, it's going to be there twice. Like, I'm going to have to try to figure out how I could abbreviate. We'll figure that out. Yeah, but salute to Benny. He definitely had Griselda on there. I was kind of, for all of the, the Griselda fans, I'm pretty sure that was, something that, I'm pretty sure that a lot of Griselda fans were kind of looking forward to seeing them reunite on a track, I feel like we haven't really gotten a lot of Griselda together. I feel like obviously them parting ways and kind of going in different directions, business on a business level, right? Obviously, I feel like, the friendship and the relationship, it may or may not still be there, right? Because at the end of the day, how do you really gauge, what's business and what's actual, kinship, right? And realistically, fam, that Conway verse, like I said, I only heard the album one time, but I remember a couple of lines from Conway in there, fam. I remember his energy more than anything, fam. And realistically, fam, you don't rap like that on nobody else's album if you don't. It felt a little smokish, you know what I'm saying? But that's neither here or there. Conway's on there rapping amazing. Benny's on there rapping amazing. You got Westside Gun on there doing the, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what Westside Gun do. You know what I'm saying? He on there doing and ad-libbing through the, you know what I'm saying? His ad-libs right on time, hitting over the drums. And I mean, you know, it's Griselda doing what Griselda does best, you know, that gritty kind of sound. I feel like they definitely kind of brought that back. You got to give them some credit, right? As far as groups, that's not really an easy thing to do in this current climate, right? For three, you know, guys to really kind of try to rely on basically the, what's the word I'm looking for? The authenticity of the craft, you know. Yeah. That's not something that's, you know, obviously very easy to sell. It's not easy to sell, right? So for them to kind of carve out a lane, and basically make a name for themselves, basically relying on just rap, I feel like we do have to give them some credit. Stove God Cooks is another one of those guys, by the way. It's a lot of those guys, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Ransom, I probably got to check him out a little bit more. I be hearing a lot of good things about Ransom projects, you know, and I feel like he definitely stands on his hip hop card. So yeah, man, salute to Benny. Everybody Can't Go, the album. Off of first listen. Look, I'm saying it. I feel like this is his best project to date. And J. Cole is on the clock right now, fam. A lot of y'all on the clock, by the way. Kendrick on the clock. The Chanel ad, you know what I'm saying? We spoke about that earlier already. But I just want to reiterate the fact that Chanel ad was cool. It was cool, fam. But nah. It's Mamba year, fam. It is Mamba year. I need everybody. Listen, fam. If you're not putting your 110% into whatever it is that you're doing this year, I don't even want to see it. I don't want to hear it, fam. Everything that happens this year has to be great, fam. We can't take no shortcuts. Everything has to be done and done properly. Yeah, man. We not here for the. I don't want to hear Drake singing this year, fam. I want to hear bars. We in the 50th year. Listen, man. Listen. J. Cole is on the clock right now. Kendrick too. We still on new music. And like I said, you know, based on what we're seeing so far, you know, in the early stages of 2024 on the music side of things, I do feel like it's safe to say that, you know, some of the heavy hitters are going to pop out this year. You know, some of the people that we probably wasn't even really expecting to pop out. Kendrick Lamar, who recently just scored a new ad for Chanel, right? So PG Lang, which is obviously, you know, absolutely air horn for my guy Kendrick, PG Lang, you know, out here doing big things, making big moves independently outside of, you know, basically what we've known Kendrick to kind of be associated with TDE for so many years. A lot of people, including myself, if I'm being honest, I wasn't 100% sure how he was going to be able to kind of pivot and make that transition on the business side, right? I was concerned. Because in my mind, I'm like, damn, it's not so often you have an artist of that caliber, you know, and that skilled just in general, right? The fact that he's as skilled as he is as an artist, right, and has delivered what he's delivered, I just, in my mind, it didn't seem to me like he would be able to kind of do the two thing, both, right? How are you going to be able to kind of deliver and focus on giving us this quality of music while still conducting business on this level? And obviously, every time you drop an album, business is only going to just go up, right? Because of the numbers you're doing. And quietly, I feel like Kendrick, like a lot of people, you know, obviously we give Drake that at this point, you know, most number ones, obviously salute. We kind of see what's on the stat sheet, but at the same time, is Kendrick that far off on the number side of things? I would imagine, based on, I mean, we see him on tour in every goddamn country, every goddamn city, every goddamn state. Clearly, he's in demand, right? That would indicate numbers to me. I digress. He recently scored a new Chanel ad, Chanel the brand, that is. And, listen, man, it's a new Kendrick Lamar song, right? And that's kind of what I'm referring to, right? So the fact that, this ad features a song from Kendrick Lamar that we've never heard before, and quite frankly, we may never hear again. It wasn't a good song. Didn't sound good. It didn't really sound like, I can't even really say anything good about it, if I'm just being honest. And I'm not gonna hold you. There's not too many of those for me when it comes to Kendrick Lamar's catalog, right? Love Game is definitely another one of those songs, by the way. With him and Eminem, terrible. Absolute, that is a nightmare of a record. The fact that Eminem and Kendrick Lamar sat in a studio and that's what they conjured up to me is a travesty in hip hop history. And realistically, fam, they might be on the clock. Like we might need, we have to get something else from you two before this thing is all said and done. But I digress, right? It's just not a lot of songs that I'm gonna. I pretty much generally like everything that Kendrick does. This is not something that I would be revisiting. I'm talking about this song. The Chanel ad is, great, right? For the business side of things, it's an amazing move. It's a great look. Personally, I'm not really a Chanel guy. I don't think I've ever owned anything Chanel in my life, right? But I'm not in that world, right? And I'm not trying to scale. I'm trying to scale, but I ain't trying to scale up there. I think I'll be cool if I don't get the Chanel call, is what I'm saying, right? Kendrick over there, and obviously, listen, man, I feel like, you kind of gotta, you gotta move, you gotta enter these certain buildings and walk in these different rooms now. You kind of gotta conduct yourself and you kind of gotta play over here too. I get it. He's playing the game. What I need him to also do and what we need him to never forget that he can do is rap. And it's a lot of people. And they almost be having me sometimes, man. You ain't gonna find a bigger Kendrick Lamar fan in the world than me. But it's even times where even I have to kind of stop and question certain moves. Like fam, are you just worrying about, I don't know, man. Look like he gearing up to just wear some new gear. We not gonna get no new music. We gonna get a new Kendrick outfit before we get a new album, fam. This is crazy. We don't want to just keep seeing you with new outfits on, fam. I just gotta say it at this point. You my guy. Listen, fam. Go back. We on episode 53. I might have gave you props on every one of my episodes, fam. You can never deny my Kendrick card, right? My Kendrick card is valid, nigga. I go to Compton tonight and walk through that bitch with jewelry on. They won't touch me, fam. I know every goddamn Kendrick lyric that ever existed, right? I'm gonna get myself out of some shit in Compton. All I'm saying is this, fam. We just don't want you to lose sight of the monster that you are, fam, when it comes to this lyrical hip-hop shit, fam. And sometimes I forget. And sometimes I be feeling like he's forgetting. And we don't ever want him to forget that, right? The Chanel ass shit is cool. Shout out to Dave Free as well. Obviously, Dave Free, you know what I'm saying? Is kind of basically the brains of the operation, if you will, right? When it comes to, I feel like the way they kind of do things and the way they kind of operate is, obviously, yes, I'm sure Kendrick has a say-so in everything and vice versa, right? It's a partnership, right? So I'm sure they consult each other, but what I'm saying is this. Kendrick is probably more, he's probably got his hands more in the music pot. And I would imagine Dave Free is more of the business side of things, right? So it's really Dave Free. And listen, man, I'm never doubting Kendrick or counting Kendrick out. All puns intended. We never doing that, right? So yeah, I do hear the chatter and, it's a lot of people. Shout out to my guys over at Club Ambition Podcast, CAP. You know what I'm saying? They definitely, they're very vocal about how they feel about the situation when it comes to Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? More specifically Sound, though. Sound, he been letting Kendrick have it on the last few episodes. And realistically, fam, I hear all of that and I receive it. I get it. I'm a Kendrick fan. I get frustrated too. I do. I gotta go back and listen to the old shit. Like, I'm going back to K Dot mixtapes, all type of shit to remind myself like this actually can happen, right? He's capable of doing, you know what I'm saying, the very thing that we've been asking him to do. What I will say is this though, I do feel like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like he's been quietly cooking something up at the same time. And we can never count that man out, right? That's all I'm gonna say, man. I really do hope that Kendrick don't make me look crazy out here, fam. Cause I definitely been waving the flag. You know what I'm saying? That Chanel ad, that song on there was terrible though. And we don't ever want to hear it again. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we don't get a whole album. It was like some rock-esque type of vibe. And you know, it's interesting because before Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers dropped, you know, I mean, I was scouring the internet every day and every night for the Kendrick news, and I vividly remember this guy coming out with the report about, oh, you know, it was somebody, you know, they got these people that be in and out of the studio. You might be doing a session, you might be in the other room over there. You ain't really privy to who's over there recording with their phone or listening and trying to get news. And so there was somebody in the studio that basically kind of leaked some information, and low key, they might have been the reason why he took 5 years off. I'm pretty sure like shit like that can completely disrupt one's creative process, right? And he might have just got frustrated, like, fam, I'm over here trying to make classics, fam. Y'all in here trying to expose my secrets and my ideas and shit. They probably was trying to give his concepts away, all type of shit, right? And he probably had to really scrap a couple albums for real. We don't really know why he took 5 years off. All I'm saying is this: they definitely had those reports about, oh, it's an album that's kind of is focused on, like, it's a rock and roll esque type of vibe situation. Now, Willmatic TV, I'll rock out every now and then, right? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I appreciate the guitar. I do. I appreciate a little electric guitar. You know what I'm saying? The EDM drums and shit. So I'm here for that sound, but what I'm saying is not when it sounds like this. Not when it sounds like this. It didn't sound like, you know what I'm saying, he really actually wanted to make a song. I'm not really sure. It just sounded like he was on the phone or something, fam. And he just took a recording of him on the phone talking to somebody. I don't know if the AIs did this. I just don't know. This was an official ad, though. So that probably was, you know, an official song. So we basically just waiting to see, man. Is Kendrick going to come outside this year or not, fam? Or not? It's Mamba year. I would imagine, listen, man, we just, you know, we were just speaking about, obviously, Kendrick being from Compton. We know with that Kobe situation, like I said, he might be quietly cooking up. He might have a whole concept album gearing up for this year. I mean, that's at least what I'm basically hoping for. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put it in the universe and shit low key. Like, yeah, but we definitely here for the Kendrick Cole. What if they drop on the same day type shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all keep, listen, man. Hey, this might be the year for all that. All those questions that we had about who's 1A and who's 1B. I'm pretty sure that Kendrick heard and seen all of that, fam. This nigga over there with a burner IG page. This nigga got the JoJo Ruski burner page and shit. Where he basically, you know what I'm saying? He's posting over there as if he's not Kendrick Lamar and shit. He basically, that's kind of like his way of basically being his normal self, I guess. The notifications is on right now. I'm waiting to see what's getting ready to happen. And all I'm saying is this: we might get that Kendrick Cole on the same day. If Cole dropped a fall off and Kendrick dropped a surprise album type shit, like, I'm pretty sure, like, there's a lot of discussions that hip hop is gonna have to have on that night, fam. Like, what if he actually is basically just waiting for somebody to drop so he could just drop the same? We don't know, is what I'm saying. That would be crazy, though. That would be crazy. Yeah, let's slide over into the NBA news side of things, man. What's going on in the NBA right now? Obviously, we'll be at January All-Star. Yeah, so we definitely approaching All-Star Weekend 2024. I do know that, you know, they've returned to the original format of East versus West, which I do feel like is amazing, right? Like, let's just bring it back to, because clearly, I understand, yeah, you know, the game changed and you kind of want to try to go along with the changes and And you don't necessarily want to dwell in the past, but at the same time, certain shit just doesn't work. And I do feel like that the team captain shit was a really kind of like, it was the most ridiculous thing ever, bro. To see Giannis and LeBron stand there on the screen side by side and basically fight over who's gonna pick Kevin Durant first and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they was going harder for the draft than the actual game itself, right? So I do feel like East versus West, let's get the fans back. Let the fans decide, god damn it. We paying for the goddamn league pass and shit. Can we have some access to we want that authority back, fam. We want to be able to kind of dictate who we see in the All-Star game. So I do feel like that is dope that they are returning back to the original theme. As far as the dunk contest and the three-point shootout, I'm not sure. I haven't heard about any changes being made there. But I do feel like that is probably where they are struggling the most when it comes to, I'm pretty sure at this point, where, we used to run to the TV when the dunk contest came on and shit. Like, I feel like now it's kind of like you kind of just have that on as like, it's just like in the background now. You know what I'm saying? The All-Star game has become a background situation. Like if you got some homework or some shit, like you ain't really finished up, you got you cooking your dinner, you just throw that on in the background. You turn it down low, fam, and just kind of have that playing in the background. Every now and then you might look up and see something like, oh, that's crazy. But it's not really hitting the same. It's not hitting the same, fam. It's not hitting the same. And, I just feel like, return it back to the original format. Trae Young. So I heard a report of, Trae Young. I'm not really sure if this was his camp or where this news or where this statement was made or where it came from. But from my understanding, it is being reported that Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks, is definitely, interested in teaming up and playing with Victor Wembanyama. Now, this is the thing. Trae Young, I feel like Trae is the truth, right? I do feel like Trae is the truth, right? When it just comes to pure point guard kind of, I do feel like that pairing is a deadly pairing, and I do feel like it's probably the best idea I've heard all goddamn year, fam. Trae Young and Victor Wembanyama on the same team might be a recipe for championship success, right? Down the line, obviously Wemby has a lot of growing to do in the league as far as just learning, kind of learning the game, learning different, obviously his natural talent is basically the draw right now, right? And the things that we see him doing on accident, right? The shit that he's not even trying to do some of this stuff. It's just literally the way he's built and, you know what I'm saying, the fact that he's so athletic. Joel Embiid, definitely just dropped a 70 piece on Wemby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we were just talking about Wemby. Yeah, Joel Embiid dropped 70 points. Just 11 points shy of what Kobe Bryant did. And, interestingly enough, he did it on the same exact day that Kobe dropped the 81, which I believe was the 18th of January. I could be incorrect there. Don't quote me on the date. But what I will say and what I need to say right now in this very moment is Mamba Forever. Yeah, that's just a little thing I like to do. 8:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Willmatic TV is the name. E.B.C.G. episode 53. Computer Love. Yeah, so yeah. We was basically just speaking about so that's just kind of really something I just kind of heard. I call wind of it, and I do feel like Trae the truth. You pair him up with Wemby, and we do have a recipe for championship success down the line, right? Wemby is going to be a problem in the league, man. block shots. I mean, he's kind of like he's checking off a lot of boxes right now. All we just need now is just the experience, and over time we'll see how that kind of manifests. Yeah, they could put together a little package over there though. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, you get Devin Vassell, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Shohan? A couple of those guys, and I'm not even gonna hold you. This is actually my team in NBA, my career, 2K right now, which is really why I know their names and shit. Like I only know their names because this is literally the team I play with in my career, right? I'm just saying, based on the way that me and Wemby running that pick and roll in NBA 2K right now, fam. Because I'm not going to even lie to you. There are certain, you kind of could get a little, basically a taste of what some shit might look like in the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Trey Young and Wemby on the pick and roll is fucking incredible. The idea of that, because then Trey, he'll fuck around, step back and shoot it from half court. He's shooting from the logo too, fam. So I don't know, man. That is something that I do feel like was interesting, and I do feel like somebody need to make that happen. What else? I feel like we're not over the NBA. I feel like just when you thought it was safe, and I know for a fact Joel Embiid. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I feel like we got a lot of players. Like the league is low key on fire right now. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of, you know, LaMelo Ball ruled out Saturday. I just got that update in real time. This is E.B.C.G breaking news. I'm going to put my phone on D&D though. Pardon me. But LaMelo Ball is definitely ruled out for Saturday's game. I'm going to assume this is some type of ankle injury. Um, that's something that he's kind of been dealing with. I feel like for like the past 3, 4 seasons, man. Come on, man. I'm not really sure who the Charlotte Hornets training staff, like who's the president over there, fam? Y'all got to get some, I don't know, man, better equipment, or maybe we just need another routine or a diet plan for LaMelo Ball, man. Let's get him healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? They just lost Terry Rozier. They without a guard right now. Devin Booker recently just put up a 62 piece on I believe was that the Charlotte Hornets? The Pacers? I think that was the Indiana Pacers. The Book went over there and, you know what I'm saying, he took it upon himself to go ahead and drop a nice 62 clip off. You know what I'm saying? Real calm, real cool, real collective. And I'm not even going to hold you. The Phoenix Suns are looking, I do feel like they still have some depth issues as far as, the bench, and, maybe they're short a few pieces, you know what I'm saying, for the rotation. But I do feel like if Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal can remain healthy all the way through the entire postseason, I do feel like they have a puncher's chance. That's all I'm saying, man. And I know that there's a conversation that's kind of brewing right now in regards to Kevin Durant and his legacy, and basically the whole GOAT conversation. And I mean, listen, man, obviously, obviously, the way we view things are subjective, right? And I just feel like, what I'm saying, the GOAT conversation, I feel like, do we need to change the parameters? Maybe we need to really look at this whole GOAT debate, and maybe there's something that maybe we're not looking at this thing from the proper lens and the proper perspective here, right? Because in all reality, how can you call one player the GOAT? I just feel like every player on that list kind of had different, circumstances, and, it was just a different era, different time. Kevin Durant, I do feel like, yeah, absolutely. 100%, I would put him in my GOAT conversation as far as, greatest players of all time. Is he number one on that list? No. But I mean, anybody that could kind of, get their shot from anywhere on the floor, 7 feet tall, dribbling like a goddamn point guard. You know what I'm saying? I think it's pretty safe to say, and then obviously, the championships, and that's kind of where the blemish is. People don't really want to give him the credit because he went to Golden State and wham. Okay, the last time I checked, Kevin Durant didn't do anything outside of the confines of the NBA rules, man. He made a business decision
Okay, and he made a basketball decision, and it was a goddamn good one because clearly, he went over there and they did what they did. He really should have just stayed over there, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. What would have happened if Kevin Durant would have stayed in Golden State? I guess we'll never know. Would Clay have lost his job? I mean, I already feel like they would have probably moved Clay a long time ago at this point, right? I'm pretty sure the team would have, things would just probably have been looking a little different. So the league is on fire. But then there was Luka Doncic. Just when Joel Embiid thought he made his case for MVP this year and why he should repeat and go back to back as the reigning MVP of the league, Luka Doncic with a 73 piece. Similar to the Phoenix Suns, I do feel like the Dallas Mavericks, they definitely need a few more pieces over there before I could fully get on board and fully, you know what I'm saying? I won't be rocking any Dallas Mavericks merch in the near far future. But what I will say is this. What I will say is this. 73 points is absolutely insane, man. It's another one of those teams that I feel like, if these two players in particular, Kyrie and Luka, if they could stay healthy, I just feel like once again, they have a shooter's chance, right? They have more than a shooter's chance. They got two shooters. They got two shooters' chances, fam. You got Luka Doncic capable of dropping 73. Kyrie just dropped about 50 the other day. Tim Hardaway Jr. is over there dropping 50. Listen, man. That's a big three right there, low key. Quietly, Dallas got a little big three. I might need to start really watching the games again. What I'm really thinking now. Tim Hardaway definitely did drop 50 when I didn't have a parlay. So yeah. The league's on fire, All Star, obviously around the corner. Starting five for the Eastern Conference, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, who I believe is making his first All Star appearance. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to him. That's definitely a good look for you know what I'm saying. Listen, man, the Pacers ain't really. You know what I'm saying? Since Reggie Miller did the chokehold to Spike Lee and shit, that was like they last highlight and shit in Indiana. You know what I'm saying? They kind of was in desperate need of some type of excitement, right? So that's good to see. You know what I'm saying? Tyrese Halliburton bringing that to the city. Damian Lillard. So we got two Milwaukee Bucks in the starting lineup. Noted. Jason Tatum. Obviously, no surprise there from the Boston Celtics, who I believe have yet to lose a game at home this season, which, like I said, man, I got the Boston Celtics as my favorite. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like it's a lock though. Like understand what I'm saying here. I have the Celtics winning the championship, but realistically, fam, I've had them winning the championship for like the past 3 years, man. They always look like they gonna win the championship. It's not until they actually get into the playoffs is when we start seeing a different team and shit. Western Conference starting five: LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Doncic. I can't say that shit. Luka Doncic. Right? What is it? Where he from? Slovenia or some shit? Kevin Durant, Shea Gilgis Alexandra. I believe this is his first All Star as well. And then obviously Jokic, who's been in the All Star game a few times. So yeah. It's looking like it's gonna be an exciting game. Definitely. I mean, I'll be lying to say I was looking forward to this because realistically, fam, if I'm looking forward to anything, I'm looking forward to making some money on my parlay, fam. Let's just be clear, fam. That's kind of like the understand that that's kind of like the whole purpose of the NBA for me at this point, right? It's just not really the same exciting game like it used to be. Let me check my underdog share real quick on mic in real time on the pod. 'Cause this game is definitely, I didn't even realize they allow you to place bets like in the second quarter and shit, man. So realistically, like you better off just waiting to see kind of like what the first half is looking like for one of the plays before you place a bet. I didn't even realize you could do that. I feel like that's actually like probably like it should be illegal. But I mean, listen, I just did it.
So we have some coaching changes as well that we kind of want to just breeze through because realistically, fam, this is not really news anymore, is it? in today's day and age in the NBA, when a coach is fired, it's kind of really what's expected now at this point, right? There's not going to be another, we're not going to really get another Phil Jackson, guys. It's not going to be a lot more of those coaches who, it's not going to be another Eric Spoelstra who kind of, you know what I'm saying, was able to get within this organization, in this franchise, carve out their legacy and kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're pretty sure that Eric Spoelstra is going to retire as a Miami Heat head coach, right? Whereas with these other guys, Adrian Griffin, realistically, fam, I've never even heard of that guy, right? Respectfully, right? And I want to be respectful to this brother who just lost his job. I know how that feel, man. I've lost jobs, man. I know how it feel to be, you know what I'm saying? You going from basically making a certain amount of money, certain income. You might have had plans for your next 2 or 3 checks, fam. I don't really know what his situation is. So I'm not trying to knock this guy, but what I'm saying is this. I never really heard of him before, right? So when you hear or when you see, you know, these coaches kind of come in, you do kind of get the sense that these are temporary kind of situations, right? And we're just kind of we're just basically using you as a placeholder for the time being, right? Until we could get the money together to pay the coach that we really want. And that's basically the situation that happened here, right? Obviously, Doc Rivers, you know, we kind of know what his resume is. And, you know, there's a lot of talk surrounding this whole, you know, idea or this notion that Doc Rivers isn't going to be able to coach players or doesn't necessarily have the resume or the, you know, the experience. What is it? What's the word I'm looking for right now? They don't think that he has what it takes to coach Giannis and Dame to a championship. Personally, I don't really understand it. I do feel like Doc Rivers, you know, may have gotten a bad rap to a certain degree. And yeah, granted, I do understand that also, you know, your winning record and basically what you've done, your resume kind of speaks for itself. And obviously when it comes to, you know, post, you know, the playoffs and basically how Doc Rivers has basically, his success is not so high. His success rate, right, when it comes to playoffs. He only got 1 championship, right? I mean, 1 is better than 0 though, right? So realistically, I do feel like we need to just kind of sit back and fall back, right? Let these teams develop natural chemistry. Like I said, man, I would only imagine that this technology age that we're in right now, that probably plays a big role into basically building and developing these championship teams, man. You got these players, man, they on their goddamn phones. You watching players do podcasts now and shit, fam. It's not the same game. Paul George he dropped 50 and went and did his podcast. Draymond Green is beating niggas up and then going to talk about it on his podcast. Like, it's just a different time right now. And I'm pretty sure that probably makes things, it probably slows down the process, right? When it comes to chemistry building and building a championship team and a championship franchise. From what this looks like and what this appears to be is, you know, maybe there was something personal going on. You know, that speculation, that's neither here or there. Doc Rivers is the new head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, though. So, yeah, salute, air horn. We going to air horn for Doc Rivers because at the end of the day, that is a black man, you know, who was out of a job. He was out of work, right? He was in the same situation that Adrian Griffin is in right now. I also do feel like it is interesting, though, that, and I wasn't even aware of the fact that Doc Rivers was actually in some way, shape, or form a consultant to, you know, Adrian Griffin. I believe he was basically like a consultant, right? So he would basically consult with Doc Rivers, and I don't know, is this a situation where they kind of already had this in the back of their mind? This might have been the plan from the jump. We don't know. All we can say is, you know, prayers and, you know, hopefully Adrian Griffin is not out of work for too long, you know. I'm pretty sure that man has a family. I don't know, man. Who's going to win the NBA championship, though, at the end of the day? Is it going to be the Bucks? It could be. It's a possibility, you know. I feel like you got Giannis on your squad. That's always going to be a possibility. You got Damian Lillard, who we already know is crunch time Dame. He just hit a big game-winning shot the other night, you know. That was pretty sturdy. We have the Super Bowl coming up as well. When is the Super Bowl? That's in February? I'm not sure exactly what day it is, but I know it's in February. That might be like early February. So yeah. And I definitely, listen, Gronk. Listen, man, what is the kick of destiny? I definitely placed my little bet in over on FanDuel, who I do need to be sponsored by at this point. Because at this point, fam, I might have a whole episode where I need to really just like get into the like I feel like I have a theory about FanDuel, and if I get on this mic and get to listen, man, y'all might want to hit me with that sponsorship now, fam, before this shit start rolling for real. That's all I'm saying, fam. Don't make me have to really. Nah, yeah, FanDuel, yeah. We definitely would appreciate that sponsorship, fam. I'm pretty sure y'all appreciate what y'all getting from me right now, fam. Return the favor and go ahead and sponsor your boy Willmatic TV over here at the E.B.C.G. This right here wasn't even on the docket, but it's something that I saw and I felt like I wanted to definitely acknowledge the fact that TKO CEO Ari Emanuel and Dwayne Johnson. That's right, Dwayne Johnson, better known as The Rock. You know, obviously former WWE. I mean, I don't even know. Is it? Can you even put the former on any of these guys at this point? I feel like The Rock is gearing up for a full blown, you know what I'm saying, comeback in the WWE. You just never can say never when it comes. Anybody that's been a wrestling fan, such as myself, Willmatic TV, listen, I go back to the golden era, right? I kind of know how this thing goes, and realistically, fam, we already know that we've seen so many different, you know, over the years. We'll always, you know, The Rock has returned so many times, right? And I know WrestleMania is around the corner. So I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be, you know, somewhat of an appearance at some point, you know, from The Rock on the actual show, on the actual program. However, we ain't talking about WrestleMania right now. What we talking about right now is the fact that Ari Emanuel, who's, you know, obviously a very, very successful businessman, you know, has done a lot of deals, a lot of good business with, you know, The Rock. And then, the latest venture, hold on. And what it looks like is, you know, their latest venture right now is Netflix is set to stream Monday Night Raw, right? So WWE has added another feather in their cap. I mean, I just feel like when it comes to business, like just on a straight business level conversation, the WWE, Vince McMahon, and what he's done over the years, and basically how he's branded his company, and this thing has become a global sensation. I mean, now they're adding it to the Netflix, and it's just kind of like it's literally just a win-win situation. They continue to basically, you know, do these big deals. To me personally, I feel like it is kind of dope to see, you know, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, kind of get into that, you know, CEO, you know what I'm saying, put his CEO cap on. And, you know, I do feel like that is something that we want to see more, right? You want to see the guys who basically contributed to building, you know, this thing, as far as, you know, I mean, listen, man. I mean, The Rock is just one of many, obviously, right? But personally, I don't feel like they, you know, could have went with a better, you know, choice here. Obviously, The Rock branching out into Hollywood and becoming such a, you know, popular. I mean, I think he might be the number one as far as like box office numbers, movie talk, right? The Rock might be the number one selling box office movie star on the planet right now, fam. What I'm saying is this: he's exceeded all expectations, right? And now he's kind of in this CEO, you know, kind of seat. And I love to see it, man. I feel like this is a big, you know, big deal. It's a good look. However, I will say, you know, unfortunately, Vince McMahon, I just feel like, man, I don't know, man. This guy, I feel like recently, obviously, we kind of already was privy to, the accusations that kind of, you know, uh, a lot of accusations, right? And I feel like that's kind of a reoccurring thing at this point, right? We see a lot of different people, kind of coming out, and you have the, what is that? The Adult Survivors Act, right? And that's a bill that was passed that basically allotted individuals who basically had certain incidents that may have occurred in the past. This act allowed for these individuals to kind of come out and expose and basically tell their story, right? So I feel like this is basically more of the same of that, right? And I'm not 100% privy to what these accusations are. I did hear about one of them though. Yeah, I believe it was a. Listen, man, some of this shit sounds so outrageous that realistically, fam, I don't even really want to say. I don't even really want to repeat it. Is what I'm saying, right? It's public information at this point. So with accusations aside, I do feel like everything else that Vince McMahon is doing on a business level is absolutely 100% worth acknowledgement. Listen. I'm over here trying to build the E.B.C.G, fam. I've been watching this guy and the moves he's been making for too long. If y'all don't think I'm paying attention to every goddamn deal that Vince McMahon is making, y'all not about to deny me the access to that information, fam. And what I'm saying is this. If you got into a situation and you felt uncomfortable and whatever happened, listen. We already know the 80s. It was all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That was kind of the era that Vince McMahon kind of became Vince McMahon, right? He bought the company from his father, and I don't want to really give y'all the whole history of the company. What I'm simply trying to say is this, fam. If Vince McMahon had you in the 80s listen, man, I just feel like realistically, You probably had the time of your goddamn life, fam. This man he owned the WWE, fam. He owned Hulk Hogan, fam. Hulk Hogan was the biggest thing smoking on the planet, fam. I'm just saying, man, how many of these individuals, weren't willing to go along for the ride, right? And I just feel like, what I'm saying, maybe you probably ain't go as far as you wanted to go. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I don't want to speak on the accusations. I really just wanted to highlight, the business. And I do feel like the WWE joining Netflix to allow, for their programs to be streamed on the Netflix app. I do feel like this is a big deal. And I'm not talking about Brock Lesnar, fam. I'm talking about big business. Yeah. So salute to Vince McMahon, Ari Emanuel, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm getting ready to wrap this thing up. I do want to just, basically speak on the whole YFN Lucci situation, before I end this. I just seen, basically the sentencing, for YFN Lucci, who is a rapper. I'm not 100% familiar with. I'm not so familiar with the music, and that's never what it's all about for me. Obviously I got my handful of musicians and artists who I kind of check for, whatever the case may be. YF and Lucci is not one of those artists. However, what I will say is I do feel like at this point we kind of got to just really highlight and basically have a real conversation about this whole Rico situation right now. I do feel like the Rico situation, it's just kind of like one of those things where it's just like, I don't really know, like, when is the last time. So in other words, they created this thing, right? What did this whole thing start for in the first place? Well, you kind of had these mobs and the mafia and all of these, large organizations and, basically really gangs, right? And that was kind of what this whole Rico thing initially was brought upon to basically tackle and kind of take down. now I just feel like every RICO that I see that's currently happening, it just basically only involves a certain demo of individuals, right? Rappers, right? Young black men who are basically using or being exploited ultimately to perpetuate and portray images and lifestyles that other people are allowed to profit off of and make millions and billions of dollars, right? While these men go and get chastised and basically they get hit with a RICO, right? And I just feel like at this point, this whole RICO thing, I wouldn't have an issue with it. I wouldn't have an issue with it if the record label was also being charged in the RICO. And that's my proposal here. I landed on it. Somehow I figured out a way to land on it. I'm getting ready to close this goddamn episode out because I'm not even going to hold you. I'm about to pass out. I'm not going to pass out, but what I'm saying is this, fam. I am gassed. Low key, I wasn't going to give y'all anything this week because it was a slow news week. I said to myself, you know what, fam? You know what I'm saying? I gave y'all the 2K tape. I was really just going to drop that 2K tape and just chill. I'm not even going to hold you. But then I said, you know what, man? That's not Mamba like. That's not Mamba like. That's not Mamba like. And all day, every day for the rest of the year, I will continue to basically, that's going to just be the bar for me, right? What would Mamba do? What would Mamba do? What would Mamba do? I'm not sure what YFN Lucci is getting ready to do. I believe he was sentenced to, 10 or 20 years, something like that, something along those lines. I do believe that there was a plea offer that was, offered and, rejected. And obviously, listen, I've been caught up. I kind of know how this goes. I was fortunate in my situation. But at the same time, man, I do feel like the RICOs at this point, it is a little excessive. It's just a little excessive, right? Where we see every other RICO case that's being brought upon somebody, it's being brought upon a rapper. It's not being brought upon the people that this thing actually started to take down. When is the last time you see the mafia in court? Why are we not privy to... I just feel like I don't need to be privy to they got all these goddamn YouTube channels now. It's like I said, man, this goddamn internet, man. You got the police out here with YouTube channels. The police have YouTube channels. I don't know if I'm the only one I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that sees it because I feel like every one of those channels have at least minimum 250, upwards of 250K. Like they getting a lot of subscribers over there is what I'm saying, right? And the whole premise and the whole purpose of these YouTube channels is basically to kind of just show you, you know what I'm saying, what it looks like to get, you know what I'm saying, get jammed up basically. They got the camera, body cams on. You showing me just a lot of different scenarios, man. This YFN Lucci situation, like I said, once again, it's important for me to prefix what I'm saying with I'm not even a fan of the music. Like, I couldn't tell you one YFN Lucci song, fam. I don't know a lyric. I don't know anything, for real, right? And especially when it comes to Ricos, I don't know a goddamn thing, fam. What I do know is that something is just not right about this situation, fam. Why is it that it's just like every week now, fam? Then it's just like, fam, at what point do we, yeah. So that's my proposal. If y'all not going to involve or include the record labels, the owners of the label, these people are basically essentially responsible for presenting these individuals to the masses. They're pushing and they're publishing their music, fam. So how is it in certain instances you can basically hold somebody accountable for lyrics and lyricism that's being, that's in music, right? But we're not holding the actual people who own and distribute the music responsible. I personally just have a huge issue with that. I'm not going to delve into that any further because I do feel like low key that's a whole episode within itself. It is. It really is, right? if we just start talking about just the contradictions and, you know, just the music industry and, you know what I'm saying, all of the tricks and the gimmicks, you know what I'm saying, the jig been up when it comes to the music industry, right? Hip hop police, where they literally created a completely different task force outside of the actual police department. They had a whole different police department specifically designed to take down hip hop artists. I just do feel like, yeah, when they say that being a rapper might be the most dangerous job, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But if it's so dangerous, then why are they still signing artists, you know what I'm saying, and paying them? Like, at the end of the day, how can it be illegal if I'm being paid to do it? I'm being paid to do it. Like, this is actually a business at the end of the day. I just feel like right now that line is blurred when it comes to business versus, you know, ethics in the music industry. Yeah, he getting ready to have to go sit down, you know, but at the end of the day, fam, you know, I do feel like, yeah, there are certain situations where, like, yeah, maybe this could have been avoided. I don't really know the ins and outs of the situation. Based on what I was hearing in the trial, though, it wasn't sounding great. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure why he didn't just take the plea deal, realistically. But, you know, listen, man. YF and Lucci got his marathon he got to run. I got mines, fam. And this is definitely, you know, yeah, man, I'm on the brink of something here. I'm on the brink of something great with the Everybody Can't Go podcast. You know, like I said, man, there's nothing greater for me personally, you know, than just knowing that I created this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is mine. I own this shit. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like it's not enough of that energy around, you know what I'm saying, where you just see people basically, like, y'all really waking up every day, putting your energy into what, fam? How are you not waking up every day putting yourself first? Yeah, so that's kind of just how that cookie crumbles. You know, obviously, you know, Young Thug is another one of those individuals. I haven't really been speaking about the Young Thug case as much. I have been kind of, you know, it's kind of impossible to not kind of tune into that at this point. Once again, it's just like, I feel like every time I just click on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to scroll down the timeline and not see, you know. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't necessarily, like, why do I have to see this? I don't want to see this shit, man. They had him in the court. What was the last thing I seen with that? They was playing the music in the courtroom. Motherfuckers in there looking like, they was looking in there like they was getting ready to pass out, fam. Like, turn this shit the fuck off, fam. This shit got me jammed up right now, fam. I can't. They was trying to act like they ain't know the lyrics and shit. Nobody was nodding their head. And it's just like, fam, I don't want to, like, Netflix is good enough for me, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure there's a show on there or something that I could find to keep myself occupied if I'm even trying to do that, right? I don't really want to, I'm not here for the, you know what I'm saying, black men getting fucked by the system show. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know how else to say that. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like they're trying to make a show and entertain us, basically, you know what I'm saying, with basically people's mishaps, man, and misfortunes, and I'm just not here for it, man. YF and Lucci, once again, I don't know your music, brother, but, you know, I do know this system, and I see what's going on, and I am not pleased with what's going on. I'm gonna end it there. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna spin the block on y'all. I feel like as soon as I turn this microphone off, fam, it might, 3 albums might drop tonight, fam. Well, realistically tomorrow night, because tomorrow's Friday. You know, New Music Friday. That's kind of when things start bubbling again. So all I'm saying is this. I really came and gave y'all hour 40 off the, like, I didn't even really want to pod type shit. You feel me? Like, I didn't want to pod. Understand what I'm saying here. I had to really tap in to deliver this episode. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't go, but everybody is welcome. Until the next time, peace, love, and prosperity. Willmatic. 1.
Where is Terrence Williams?